Right, we've been waiting to do this for a while.
It's been a while, Johnny. It's been a while.
So this is episode 1 of the first ever Honest Filter podcast.
Honest Filter podcast. I like that name. It's a good name.
Yeah, it is. So for anybody that doesn't know us, my name's Johnny Davis. I'm a CrossFit coach. I work for a digital design company and quite a fitness enthusiast. And with me
is Gareth Smith. I'm ex-Royal Marines Commando, paramedic and physician associate student, almost qualified, and avid CrossFitter as well. Even though I'm getting on a little bit now, but still working hard and making gains and progress all the time. But yeah, that's it.
So basically one of us has medical knowledge and the other one's just basically making crap up as it goes.
That's how it goes.
So yeah, we thought we'd do this podcast, I guess. We've been speaking about this for ages, of just kind of in the mornings on the way to going to the gym or work. It's just been a series of voice messages in long tandem of one another of thoughts, opinions.
It's funny because we don't actually talk on the phone, do we? We just send these 10-minute voice memos that go on, and then by the time you've listened to it and you go to reply, you're like, crap, what was the first point? Yeah, what were we talking about? So it's the longest voice notes in the world.
I think my missus is getting to the point where she's kind of like, oh, another 10-minute voice chat. Why don't you just call him? I'm like, no. And I think every single day starts with morning and welcome to the podcast. And we've actually finally now got in a room and we're genuinely going to do it.
And we're here.
We are here. So obviously we are quite busy this weekend together. It's quite a usual thing of doing these events for Breakpoint. Working on them alongside Ollie, Johnny Stiles, Laura and the rest of the team. So for anybody that I guess doesn't know, Breakpoint being obviously from the TV show SAS Who Dares Wins, Ollie Ollerton started the company obviously to push people physically, mentally, and we're up in Shropshire doing that this weekend, which is one of the vices. But for the podcast, something that we've really been looking to drill into, I guess, is in fitness, in health, in nutrition, in day-to-day activity, whether it's social, hobbies, whatever that is. A lot of what me and you talk about and have in common is kind of about those subjects, our thoughts, opinions, what we do, what we see other people doing. Obviously you as a physician and having been in the armed forces, and for me being a coach, training myself, and obviously our enthusiasm for the subject.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we always end up coming on that we thought would just be that perfect first episode, I guess, is health. Health is such a widespread term, but thinking about it, we've always kind of had that question of, I guess you'd say, what does it mean to be healthy in the modern era? In 2019, what is the definition of being healthy? Because that's what everyone wants, right?
And everyone has this image of the perfect Instagram model that they see and they want to aspire to be. But is that person healthy? And I think that's the battle that we've been having, not with each other, because I think we both agree on what health is, but people's perception on what health is, and you know, everyone's infatuation with wanting to look a certain way and wanting to do a certain thing at detriment to their own health in some regards.
And I guess like it's kind of hard. I mean, you know, you probably get this quite a lot, whether it's, you know, at the gym or whether that's, I guess, in the job that you're pursuing at the moment, is you get people that come up to you that are at a point in their life where maybe they're at an age where they look back on their younger self and they're like, oh, I felt that I was fitter. I felt that I was healthier at that time. And I feel like I've fallen off that wagon and I'm trying to get back there. Or you have somebody that's at that starting point, that foundation of looking to get into shape, get fitter, get healthier. And I think that quite a lot of that is often driven through social media. A lot of people look at what someone else is up to, what someone they aspire or look up to is, or they've just got into a new sport or a new hobby. And what's the first thing we do in that? You load up Instagram, you go and follow all the people that are at the top echelon of that sport or that practice. And straight away it's, how do I get there?
Yeah.
What's my fastest route of least resistance to attain what this person, we know and everybody else knows, but that person maybe isn't filled in on, has spent years. Every day, grinding away years to get to that. How's the fastest way that I can get to that end goal?
And it's their job as well. That's the point. These people who are at the peak of their level, it's their full-time job to do that. That's all they do. And you dial up Instagram, you type in the name while you're sat at your desk. And you don't go to the gym 3 times a day.
No.
You don't do this and you don't do that. You're sat at the desk doing a full-time job and only having a snippet of your time, of your day, to be able to actually get to the gym and get healthy, get fit. And that's the misconstrued reality of it all, that we can't obtain something that these people at the top do for a career, do for a living.
And I think it's also like, how many people do you know that conversation happens on a Sunday afternoon or evening? It's like, from Monday, this is where I'm going to hit it. You know, I went to my first gym session at a Global Gym, or I went to a CrossFit session, or I was watching the football this weekend, or I was seeing this person, or I started following this individual, and it's like, oh my God, I really want to change my life around. I want to get healthier. And so from Monday morning, they've either purchased something on Amazon that's some new piece of kit, some new trainers, some new, I don't know, running shirt, or whatever it is. They've signed up to some sort of online programming. They've bought some new supplementation. That's what's going to kickstart everything for them. And I guess something that I think is probably the best way to start this is to say, like, what for you? What would you say is like a healthy human being in this day and age? Because that's what people ask, isn't it? They go, how do I become healthy? What is healthy?
I mean, that's a never-ending question. You know, it's a never-ending answer. What is healthy? You could somebody goes to the gym 3-4 times a week, has a healthy, balanced diet, that weighs within the recommended BMI levels. But are they really healthy as well? There's so many more mental factors. There's the psychological aspect of everything, and it's not just about, in my opinion, just about being able to run a mile in 7 minutes or being able to lift a certain amount of weights. It's having the balance of being able to train, being able to carry on your normal life, and being happy. I think we always seem to forget about the crux of it all is we live on this earth to be happy. And with the advent and people sort of talking about mental health more, it's come to the forefront that lots of people aren't happy.
Even professional athletes, right?
No. Yeah,
even the people that the individuals boot, we're all guilty of it. You know, you go on Instagram, you look at, you know, CrossFit, you're looking at the Matt Frasers, you're looking at the Rich Fronings, if you're into marathons, you're looking at your Mo Farahs, you're looking at all these individuals. You can see that surface level, you can see that aesthetic thing that, yes, there's the social media, they're trying to sell this kind of sex appeal of what they get up to. And a lot of more athletes now are coming into the domain of being like, you only see the perfect moments of my career. You see it when it's on TV, you see all this, but you don't see the heartache and the training that goes into developing it. So it's this kind of disillusion, but I guess what we're getting at is it's that idea of that you may be able to see these individuals and that's what you aspire to, but it doesn't mean that they're happy on the inside, right?
And I think people just want to blame everyone else. You know, so they'll see this once again on Instagram, this amazing athlete, and they are amazing, they're incredible. We don't see the deep, in-depth parts of their life. We see what they want to show. And after 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you're not looking like that person, or you're not hitting the benchmarks of those people. So you want to blame everyone else, even though you're still having 3 Mars bars a week, or you're still eating a packet of crisps every day. You haven't stopped drinking Coke. You know, you're drinking 17 cups of coffee. There's always something that you're doing that's not your fault, because it's too hard to stop. And you know, you'll get people in and my diet's not working. Okay, why isn't it working? And they won't tell you that they're still having a Mars bar every day or a bit of chocolate. Yeah, but I enjoy it. Okay, that's fine. If you enjoy chocolate, train harder in the gym.
Yeah.
You know, you
find that balance. Find that equal point that makes it admissible.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we get it all the time. So in the CrossFit box that I coach in, what you start to understand, this was by, I started reading like a few different books. There's one that was, you know, you read all your nutrition books, There was, I can't even remember the name of it, but basically it was a series of essays that were written from different perspectives. And a lot of it was all about understanding of that, like, what are the common things that we get when you're a coach in a gym, understanding what clients are coming to you with. And because it's such a monetary transaction, fitness, especially when you're working in a gym, whether that's a Globo gym, PT, CrossFit, doesn't matter what you do, that individual is paying you money to achieve a goal that they've had in their mind that they want to achieve. Okay, so whether that's weight loss, whether that's a skill they want to develop, no matter what that is, they see it as, I'm paying you money, I'm expecting that to be delivered to me. And there's a degree of effort that has to come from their end, which a lot of people just see as turning up. They don't see it as the amount of effort and intensity and own time that they have to put into that. So what you often get is, whether that's if it's a dietary thing, people turn up and they go, I go to the gym 4 times a week. Which, when I say it like that, most individuals go, well, shit, there's only 7 days in a week. So you're spending most of those days going to the gym. But what they don't calculate is that I go to the gym an hour of one of those days. So what you're saying is, I go to the gym 4 hours a week. There's 24 hours in a day, and there's 7 of those in a week. So for the best part of 120 to 140 odd hours, I'm not going to do the remedial maths, but you spend 4 of those doing fitness.
Yeah.
And so they then go, but hang on a minute, why am I not ripped with a 6-pack? Why am I not back squatting 200 kilos or snatching 125? Because that's what I'm seeing all these people on Instagram doing, and I'm going to the gym 4 times a week. What's going wrong? And you go, yeah, but you have to look outside of that idea, and this is where I think a lot of to be healthy comes from. It's essentially a marketing term,
and you have to find yourself. I think that's the biggest hurdle. Something has to happen in your life, or you have to hit a wall for that person to want to make better of their lives. I mean, I've got a family member, my sister, I'm sure she won't mind me saying, but my sister was diagnosed with 2 brain tumours. Massive deal. My sister was obese, she was overweight, and she was, dare I say it, in that mindset where, oh well, I'll have a can of Coke, or I'll have a bottle of wine, or I'll have some chocolate bars. But it wasn't until she had these 2 brain tumours that she suddenly decided, shit, I got to lose some weight to make myself healthier. And that's what happened. And now she's to a recommended BMI. She goes to the gym every day. She's so happy, and she's living this amazing life now. But she had to be run over by a bus. She had to be smacked in the face and said, come on, if you don't do something, you're going to fucking die. And that's what it needs to take sometimes.
So that moment that matters, kind of thing.
And it is. But often that moment is too long. It's too late. And people lose the chance to make a difference in their life.
I mean, we get a lot of guys and women at the gym that go, you know, I spent my 20s getting really, really drunk. I spent all this time doing all these other things, and now I've got to my kind of late 30s, early 40s, and I go, I want to get healthy. I want to get fit. And a lot of that can sometimes be they have a kid. They have a child that they go, you know, I'm pretty overweight. I have no form of fitness. My kid's really active, and I want to be able to go to the park. I want to be able to go to the swimming pool and not kind of be at that point where doing any form of physical exercise with my kid, I feel absolutely knackered and run out. And I think that's a good shift. It's a good shift in healthy, rather than being like, I've seen this fitness individual online, I've looked at Ross Edgley, and I think like, oh, my life seems so incomparable to this demigod of a human being. I just want to be able to function as a human being in a way that means I can play with my kids and not feel like I'm about to keel over and die. And that, I think, is a positive thing. I think that's a much healthier way of seeing it. And as we were saying, it's not just a physical side, it's not just a nutritional side, it's also a mental well-being side of happiness that also can lead to health. So I would say for me, I don't think when someone says, I want to be healthy, is like the totally wrong thing to say. That's almost like you're succumbing to this unobtainable thing. Because put it this way, Eddie Hall, world's strongest man, or, you know, the Mountain from Game of Thrones, world's strongest man, can out deadlift anybody, can literally probably pick you up with one hand, crush your skull. They're ingesting 5,000 calories, 6,000 calories a day. For that domain, I'm sure it serves them well. But as a human being, that's not healthy. Like, your digestive system, your gut, your routine of the fact you're probably crapping 15 times a day, like that's probably not healthy. And any athlete that's at the pinnacle of their career requires that to be an obsession for the most part. So their social life, their relationships, everything that they build in a social domain, maybe for a lot that they're still happy, but for some it probably makes them a recluse, probably makes them feel like they're on their own, very solitary. That again may not be healthy. I think that the thing that people need to be saying to themselves is, I don't want to be healthy, I just want to be healthier than I am. And that can be minute changes.
Yeah, and everybody's after a quick fix. That's. I mean, we're in a world where it's all obtainable because you see it on Instagram, and I know we've discussed this and we touched on this before, but you see these people on Instagram and your idols are so obtainable, they're so reachable. You know, you can send them messages for fuck's sake. I mean, how weird's that? I could pick up the phone and fucking send a message or comment on my idol's picture. I can post a message on Arnold Schwarzenegger's picture. You know, he could look at that. Likelihood he's not, but you're so close to these people, and I want to look, or I want to be like that. I want it now. And that's how these skinny teas, these boo teas, or whatever all that fucking bullshit is.
Geez.
And that's how it's preying on the weak to go, yeah, I want this, I want to be healthy, I want to look like that, I want to look like this for summer. And it's all about forming habits. People seem to think that, oh, I'll go to the gym when the weather's nicer.
In the summer games.
And they get summer games and they just want to look a certain way at a certain time of year, but then they realise they're not getting much results after a week, after 2 weeks, after a month, and they're like, fuck, why aren't I getting results? One, you're not putting the fucking effort in, but secondly, they see these people and they're like, right, that person's endorsing skinny tea, I must buy that because that must work. And this whole idea of health is led down this rabbit warren of different ideas, and people have so many different conflicting arguments. Should I be doing intermittent fasting? Should I go on the keto diet? Should I do this? Should I do that? I mean, it's like James Smith says, it's calories in, calories out. We're not superstars, we're not these super athletes, we're normal Joe Bloggs who goes to the gym to have a healthy lifestyle, to be healthier. So why don't we just do something that's obtainable? I mean, little things like, what are they all taking now? Cider vinegar?
Apple cider vinegar every morning.
Every morning. Why? What's that going to do? It might make a little bit of a difference to a peak performance athlete, but for you and I, it won't make a difference in the slightest. Yeah. It won't make a difference to Sandra, who's walking down to Tesco's now once a week to get her shopping. Yeah. So why is she having to buy it to lose some extra weight? It's just Instagram has kind of shifted everything in such a way that the whole idea of health is so skewed that we don't know whether we're coming or going.
But it's like health has just become this thing that's like, it's productized.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, buy this and you'll get health. Like the idea that we live in a world right now where I think like the newest thing is one of these drinks or slimming teas that pregnant women can take so that their bump's not as big.
Are you shitting me?
No, it's crazy. It's crazy. I'm pretty sure my missus said that it was someone that was linked with the Kardashian lot or something was having a kid and was displayed as this tea that didn't make you as bloated while pregnant and so made your bump look less significant. Or so, I mean, don't quote me, but it's that bad. It's that crazy. And I think that obviously what you've got to understand, like all of these things, whether it's like everybody blames like the pharmaceutical market, right, of like, oh, they have you on these drugs for the rest of your life because the drugs are made by companies that make lots of money by having you on these drugs. Like, yes, there is a degree of that in all walks of life, whether that's the fitness world, whether it's supplementation, whether it's the idea that you need to buy a new pair of shoes in order to go and do your fitness. Like, no, you can do fitness in plimsolls or bare feet. You can do it in a space that's 2 meters by 3 meters. Like, it genuinely doesn't matter. It's having the drive inside you to want to be able to make the change. And it comes back to what you said. For some people, it requires that moment, something to happen in their life that's so drastically new to them that it almost like shakes their world up and it makes them snap into reality of, fuck, I've got to do something about this. But for a lot of people, that never comes, right? And so I think that when we get into that idea of, is it better to say that I just want to be healthier than I want to be healthy? Healthy is an unobtainable thing.
Unobtainable.
You know, and especially it depends on what domain you're going in. You may be like, I want to be healthy, and so I'm going to go and do CrossFit. And don't get me wrong, I think CrossFit is great. I do CrossFit, you do CrossFit. Yes, it's a little bit of a cult. Like, you know, once you get into it, it's like using the lanes like, yeah, man, I did an EMOM or an AMRAP. And everyone's like, what does that mean? It's like, you don't know. Like, it is that kind of world. But at the same time, like, there are elements of CrossFit that I would say, if you're a new person starting, probably aren't healthy to do from day one. To be like, I've just seen on TV someone doing snatches, I'm going to do that day one. Well, no, let's get the foundation right. Let's also make sure of your movement patterns, you know, what's your mobility like, your range of motion, and then we can introduce those things. If you wanted to go and do strongman, you know, I'm going to get massively, increase my calorie intake 9-fold. Okay, but that's not healthy for the rest of life. It's just good for that one domain. And I think the problem, especially coming back to it again, social media is such a it's like a cancer. Anyway, of the idea that you can go online and you can buy a pro athlete's programming. That you can just go like, Josh Bridges, I'm going to go and buy his programming. Or in any other fitness domain, other than ones that are in a smaller echelon, that you can just buy anyone's programming. Like those guys on Instagram or influencers that have, hey, do my workout circuit and you'll get to look like me. It's all bullshit, first of all. But the other thing is that in no other domain, you wouldn't go like, I'm going to get into running. I've never run once in my life, but I'm going to buy Mo Farah's running program and see what he's getting up to every day, and I'm just going to fucking follow that. Like, it's the lunacy. The lunacy is crazy.
Nobody would think you could do that.
No.
So why do they think that you can get this body from Body by Joe, whatever it's called, that shreds? Why do you think by buying that program, you're going to look like that? There's so many other factors that come into it.
Yeah.
Not just the amount of times you go to the gym, and it comes back down to that, for me, that health or healthier. And I take my hat off and I commend that person who goes, you know what, I'm going to break my habits, I'm going to change, and I'm going to go to the gym once a week. I'm going to stop having a can of Coke every day, and I'm going to have 2 cans of Coke a week, making little changes. We're human. We can't. I could be in hospital. I could tell somebody, right, you need to stop drinking, you need to stop smoking. It's not going to work because they're going to go, fuck off. No way am I going to be able to do 2 things at once. I'm addicted to them both, so why would I quit both of them? It's about making small changes to your habits and having gradual, better habits so that you can grow and get rid of the bad habits, because otherwise you're just going to end up drinking and eating and smoking yourself into a grave. But if you can just change one little thing each week, each month, you're getting healthier. And it's having those changes, those small, tiny little changes that make a difference. And yeah, like I said, I take my hat off to those people who go, I am going to make a difference. And instead of going, there's no change here after 2 weeks, or they'll hit a wall. I've lost a stone, I'm not losing any more now. This is pointless, why am I giving? And people just give up, because that's what we like to do as humans, is give up. And I take my hat off to those people who go, no, I'm going to keep on going. And they create good habits instead of these bad habits. And that's what healthier is to me, is somebody who wants to make a change and sees an end goal and will stop at nothing to get there. And like I said, that could just be cutting down a packet of crisps a week. It's still making a difference. Or walking to parking the furthest end of Tesco's and walking in. Still a bit of a difference, you know.
They don't need to be insurmountable tasks.
No, exactly.
And I think that's the thing, is it's like, it's that idea that we kind of know it, but for anybody it doesn't, that idea of like, it's brilliant to have an end goal, like what you would say is a macro goal, like something that's the big thing that you're fishing for, whether that's a weight that you have in mind, whether that is a waist size, or whatever that may be, whatever your picturesque idea of the end goal of what you want to achieve is. But you have to find in-between steps. You have to find those micro steps to achieve that goal and celebrate those micro moments on the way to that eventuality, right?
I mean, I'm in the gym now. I can't handstand walk. So my goal is to handstand walk. And I've been practicing every day. for 2 months, still not handstand walking. But in 6 months' time, I will be, and people will watch me, and they'll see me handstand walking, and they'll be like, fuck, I wish I could do that. I wish I could do that. But they haven't seen all the hard work in all the time, me being on my fucking hands and falling over and smashing my head. I mean, it's like when I started double unders. I was out in Iraq at the time, and I was on an oil field, on an oil platform. I took a skip and rope out with me. Couldn't do a double under. Could hardly fucking skip. Honestly, I was absolutely rubbish at
Looking like a
skipping.
fish out of water.
Yeah,
basically.
arms all the way out here, you know, like just massive circles, just looking like I don't know, like a duckbill platypus just splashing about in the water. And but yeah, every day I skipped, and I went from 1 double under to 5, and then I hit a wall at 10. Could have thrown my skip and rope over the fence into no man's land, got shot trying to get it, but I didn't. I kept on practicing. 5 weeks, I snapped my skip and rope in the middle in 5 weeks, just because I practiced that much. Now I'll crack out 150, 200 double in a one, and people go, oh, how can you do that?
Nobody sees the time.
But nobody sees the time and effort that I put into being able to achieve that, and it's a massive deal. That was a small step that I wanted to achieve, and some people might go, a double under, why do you? But it's so much easier. So when I'm doing my WODs, my workouts, if it's a double under, I'll be minutes ahead of people because I can crack out all the double unders without having a problem. They've become second nature to me. And it's these little goals that we have to set ourselves that make the real difference in our lives. So the little goals, like I said, it goes back down to what you eat, what you consume. I'm going to have 1 extra apple a week, or I'm going to have 1 less of this a week. Changing those bad habits for good habits, and just making little small changes that our brains are more capable and more achievable ideas. Because if you go, I want to get to this point and I want to get there now, it's never going to happen.
Yeah, no chance.
No chance.
Like, we see it all the time. Like, we call it like training ADD, or like programming ADD, or diet ADD. It's this idea that's so backwards as a human being that, like, how many people do you know that start a diet? And then they're doing it for like a month or 2, and they come in and they go, oh, I lost X amount of pounds last week. I lost 10 pounds in the last month. And you go like, you know what? Fucking good on you. Like, yes, keep on it, keep going. And that can also be with programming, with training. They go, I've been trying to work on my back squat, or trying to work on my grace time, whatever. I've been trying to get my mile run better. And I've been doing this programming, and I've been working my arse off, and it's getting better. But as humans, what starts to happen is, when it starts to plateau, where then there needs to be a new gear that's found in order to get it to go even better, or to lose that extra bit of weight, or to get that mile even faster, we go, fuck it, I'm done. Like, and you go, hang on a minute. If you take a step back from that, look at how much you've achieved. As soon as people get past something, they never look back at what they've achieved. They just look forward as to like, crap, now look how much better I've got to get at it. They don't look at what they've already actually successfully done. And so we have people that would be like, I want to work on my back squat. So for 5 or 6 weeks, they're working hard twice a week, doing percentage back squatting, and they're getting better. Their form's looking better, their movement pattern's greater, the way they're moving the weight looks prettier, they feel like the weight's less, they then hit a new 1 rep max, and then they go, okay, I'm done. You're like, what do you mean you're done? Like you can still use that as a platform to keep going. It's the same thing with weight loss. I have a good friend, and he has his own business. His name's Johnny Landels. He does a lot of stuff for OPEX Fitness as well, but he does a lot on nutrition. And what he always says that's really, really great, it's a shout out to him if he's watching it, is, it's not, you can't expect that weight loss is going to continue to go down all the time. You will have little weeks where it's like, oh, I've put on a pound, I've put on 2 pounds. Okay, there's so many factors that could be. It could be that you're stressed that week, it could be that you've had more water, it could be that it's hotter, that it's colder. Like, that doesn't mean that you failed. You can't look at it from a week-by-week basis. You have to look at these kind of things that you're trying to achieve as a goal 6 months, a year.
Yeah.
But people don't have that attention span. So that's the ADD thing. They then go, oh, actually, now this isn't working as fast or as quickly as I wanted it to. I'm going to try and switch to something else, or in doing so, I'm just going to bin it off.
Yeah.
And we all know so many people that start a diet, never finish it. Diet's the worst word ever used. It should be a lifestyle change. Like, diet is like a marketing thing in its own, which we can get onto in a different episode. That's a whole different fucking Pandora's box.
Maybe the next one.
But, I guess, like, if we were to give like a little bit of a roundup for anybody that was watching this that's kind of maybe fallen out of what they would consider to have been a healthier state for them, or they're looking to get into a healthier state, if you were to give them just a few succinct points, what would that be? Whether that's encouragement, whether that's from your experience, whether that's how you think that their mindset or their physical application should be, what would that be?
I mean, one of the biggest things I have is make small goals, small achievable goals week by week.
And write them down?
Write them down, put them down, tell somebody about them. If you only tell yourself, you'll forget about it. You won't have that desire to show somebody that you've done it. We're creatures that like to talk about things. We like company, we like to be with other people. So for me now, I want to do handstand walks. Telling every fucker that I want to do handstand walks, and they're watching me, and it's all over my Instagram. But it's everybody knows, so that I have to keep pushing myself to do it, because I could so easily give up now because I am failing horribly.
Yeah.
But no, I want to do it, and the only way I'm going to do it is by practice, and practice and practice and practice. So make goals, stick to them. Nothing that you can't achieve. Little ones. Cut down something, walk an extra mile a week. Start at that, but don't give up. Keep on pushing yourself forward. Once you've achieved that one little goal, make another 2. Once you've achieved those 2, make 4. And just build it slowly, because Rome wasn't built in a day. You need to take things piece by piece. That's my biggest piece of advice, and don't blame any other person apart from yourself. If it all goes horribly wrong, it's nobody else's fault.
That's your fuck up.
It's your fuck up. So don't give up, take it on the chin, and just go, I tell you what, I didn't do this right. I ate too many fucking Mars bars, and I need to move forward, and I need to get over that, and keep on going. Everybody wants to blame something else in their lives, and realistically speaking, it's them. We're in charge of our own life, nobody else.
I think I'd say also, like, that's the best foundation, and the one thing to add on top of that is fucking stay away from comparing yourself on social media.
Do not one little bit.
There is no point in trying to be like, for your handstands, going and following a yoga instructor and then looking at the video and being like, fuck, I'm crap. Like, don't watch that. Use it to inspire you.
Yeah.
But do not ever compare what the hell you're up to somebody on social media who's showing you the perfect moment of something that they've spent way longer than you have getting to that point.
Yeah.
Like, follow your own journey, only be accountable to yourself, and don't compare yourself to others.
Small steps, don't compare yourself to others. Nail on the head.
There we go. Until the next time. So, this has been the Honest Filter podcast. And basically, we just want to say how it is from our own experiences, cut out any form of bullshit, and yeah, hope the people enjoy it, I guess.
If you liked it, hit like, write some comments, and just let us know what you think. If you want us to discuss any topics or have any questions for us, feel free to ask away.
Yeah, sweet. Awesome.
Done.
One take. Beautiful.